Mm, Beautiful. Here we go. We are live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, beautiful family in the light. Wishing everybody a blessed and wonderful Monday. Today is the 111th day of 2020. And it's a auspicious, beautiful day, being at 20th, this cusp of going into the Taurus energy and me being a Taurus. I enjoyed very much welcoming my solar return month coming up in May. And as I just finished a light code transmission activation session, I felt so much gratitude in my heart. And I really have been sitting with this, and I felt guided to do a live stream on Corona and this COVID-19, and truly the gratitude behind being crowned, like literally crowned, and embracing this ascension. Hi, Celine. Hello, Lily. So, waiting for a few people to jump in. Hello, Demetrius, darling. Hello, Carlos. So much love. And I wanted to just have a little conversation with light workers around Earth around this. Regarding this COVID-19, regarding this couple months of being quarantined. Have you truly experienced gratitude during this phase? And I really want to know, have you been experiencing joy? Have you been experiencing celebration? Have you been experiencing trust in the divine plan? Or have you been experiencing worry, anxiety, concern, fear? I want to have a very deep conversation with you as I'm guided, because it is something for us light workers to really come together in openness and communicate with each other when something is not in the divine alignment within our presence. So we, within this magnificent creation of divine, are perfectly created initiation, so that the greater part of ourselves that has not been kicked into the gear to step forward, so that we can be in awe of its magnificence. So there's this creator energy in us that constantly wants to be expressed, and it has to be put into certain environment so that it can express itself from its grand, multi-dimensional, incredible, greater presence, which is combination of our avatar self, our Christ itself, our I am presence. And this being very much active as a key coded knowledge in us light workers, earth angels, star seeds, we are here to be put in these positions so that we can deliver it forth. So my question for you as light workers, truly, how have you been during this COVID-19? During the lockdown, during the announcement it came down? Have you been, just respecting, for example, social distancing, or have you been taking the action of being very scared? Has the economical collapsing, like clasping, I can't say that word, collapsing there, because it has to dismantle, has that shattered your ground? And I really would like to know, because if you are a bringer of light and you're here to carry your light, yet you're being pulled into the darkness, into the what has to dismantle, into the programs and conditioning, and you're standing behind programs and conditioning, and you're giving your sacred energy to that. The gift of this corona has been so that you can step out of that and really stand in your divine sovereign beingness, so that you can be crowned by the crown jewel of the golden presence, because you're here to radiate your golden light. And if you've been able to stay in joy and above, you've really been able to be crowned. And I've spoken with this as some of you that have been joining on our Tuesday night meditation, you have been witness, and some of us experiencing, we've literally being crowned on our head. And that's part of being recognized that we did not drop into fear. We did not drop into panic and worry. We did not drop into where is our money is going to come from, if we're going to catch it. None of that. Many of us have stayed in our divine alignment, in our divine truth, and not going anywhere else at all. If anything, our life has continued. If anything, not much has really changed, other than, if anything, being more restful, being able to take care of ourselves greater, being able to have more time to put the energy into the things we really love, and being able to collaborate that way, and truly trusting the divine plan, being able to see through this thing on the outside is a man-made dis-ease. On the inside is a great opportunity for each of us to face any of these debris that may have surfaced. There were a couple of things that did surface for me, and that has to do with a little bit of concern. And I was able to address that and stay in joy and above, continue. So I'm a complete indigo rebel, that most of you know. I refuse, especially when I can see it's part of a manipulation, control, and dogmatic and fear provoking, to tap into us as like leeches to suck our life force energy. I just refuse to give into it. So up until now, I have refused to wear gloves, refused to wear masks. Like, I just refuse. And I refuse to play this thing with social distancing. My sons come over. I still see my mom and Michael's mom. A couple of friends have come, and I'm not going to, doing anything else more than that, just because it's the truth that I feel. And I feel that when you vibrate in that trust of the divine, you cannot have trust in divine and live in fear. You cannot have trust in divine, feel that love, and then be worried, oh my God, am I going to get it? Oh my God, where's my bill going to come from? Oh my God. Like, those are two different operating systems. And even if that has come, it has given each of us the opportunity to address the gift of Corona, COVID-19, has been able to see within, if we being a computer system, a magnificent computer system, sometimes there are these viruses, right? The viruses give us the opportunity to reset them. So any virus that on a physical level comes to our field, it's on the higher plane that there is an imbalance. So that imbalance communicates with us, and it gives us the opportunity to address what's imbalanced on the higher plane. So this physical magnificent knows how to heat itself, how to purge. There is a natural, divine ayahuasca already within this magnificent system, and it gives to purge out all that is in separation of our divine truth. And especially when our light quotient expands out, we experience more and more of this solar frequency in us. And as a result of it, we are able to see through the sun illumination in us. It's very difficult to be pulled in to anything else. And we're able to decipher material when it's presented to us, when it is in vibration harmony, and when it's harmony. It's very easy, but often we're still operating from attachments to our programmed thoughts and conditions. So our vibration, sacred energy, is standing behind the attachments versus our divine truth. So I wanted to just um, hop in here and just to check in with you as you being these magnificent bringers of light. Have you faced fears? Have you faced concerns? Have you faced like anxiety? Have you faced worries? I really would like to know during this phase. And if you have, it's perfectly okay. This live stream is to help remind you that the gift and the gratitude of this so called COVID 19 corona is at a much higher plane. Because if you're able to face the energy in motion that has come up, it gives you the opportunity to vibrate that misalignment out of your field so that you can align with the divine plan, in the divine trust, in the divine flow, in the divine love. And as a result of it, your crown is becoming golden and you are crowned. Some of us have experienced the ascended masters literally putting a crown over us, as I have, as Michael has, others have, for remaining in light, remaining in love, remaining in trust, remaining in faith, remaining in joy, remaining in celebration, and letting it all play out. And even being able to see those individuals who have been part of the divine plan, who have agreed to cross over into spirit side, to be able to give rise to this great awakening for the collective unconscious that is becoming conscious. You have nothing but gratitude from this place. So again, I just have gratitude. I'm so grateful for a lot of the shadows for being able to be brought forth into plain sight. No attachment to anything else other than wow, the awe and gratitude that finally a lot of this dark and debris that represents the dark and debris that we have buried within us is now so forcefully brought forth under this umbrella of Corona, La Corona, the Spanish name for being crowned. We're able to be crowned when we're able to really stand in our light, in our truth. And that truth can only be stood when we have also let go of attachment to the programs that we had been bought into, to the conditionings we have been bought into, to the institutions, to the politics, to the mainstream media, to all of those, as we have unplugged from them, right? And brought the frequency back in, we're able to see from a full, clear lens. And from that, our energy becomes very sort of like sacred, as a way that it can only be brought into certain kind of like, how do I say, kind of under the wing of certain things that is here to be illuminated and also transmuted back into light. So it's kind of an interesting process, and I feel gratitude has been the biggest gift. I can't stress this enough. I have been able to sleep. I've been able to make so many herbs, regrow seeds. I've been creating art. I've been in nature every day. I've been spending more time with my kids. I've been also restructuring a few things with Michael, with what's coming up for us. I have been just beyond grateful and also joyous. And so I can't stress enough. And I also have all these things like, okay, how the rent is going to be paid, all of this, and no concern about it. Fully trust and fully in service, because this has been the time to just serve from the joy, serve from its illumination. And I've been able to be a witness of how the universal fields of great consciousness collaborate together, collaborate in this field of light that really unites, while at the same time also disconnects from vibration field that is operating from a denser consciousness that has not yet been able to give itself the permission to expand because of its attachments to programmings and conditioning. And there's this resistance and refusal to just breathe in and come out and see, perhaps see a different version of reality. So that's what I want to share. I have still so many friends to connect with, to see, to communicate with. And there's been a lot of things coming also my way. My son wanted to move in with us. So we've been looking in the middle of this. Imagine we've been looking at properties to see what we can move into. And it's such a funny place during this time, okay, to move into a new place. And for us that live off, sort of like off systems, all these requirements they have, it's quite an amazing opportunity to just be a witness, to be a witness of how each of us are processing this next octave of ascension that is part of the planetary ascension, that is part of the delivery of the golden age. We can only deliver the golden age if we're allowing ourselves to be golden, to be crowned. And to be crowned, we have to open the gifts. And if you're stuck in the fear-based modeling of the old energetics that are tied to this matrix of conditioning programming, we will not be able to deliver the golden frequency to us, which is a crystalline Christed frequency that is unified within the field of the Christed heart, that is pure, that is dazzling, that is part of the greatest good of all. So we can see, for example, very clearly if there is this consciousness that wants to, let's say, vaccinate out of us, we recognize if we want to resist it, right? We are also empowering it. If we want to go after all the hatred towards so-called, let's say, Bill Gates, we are only empowering it. And as light workers, we withdraw from that energy and we hold it in the highest vibration of light under the divine plan, the divine truth, the divine law, the divine oneness, the divine governments that we're here to bring in operates on the divine love frequency. So we cover this individual from wherever he's coming from, right? Whatever that has given him and many others that are part of, let's say, World Health Organization, that have a certain agenda that is not for the highest good of humanity. We can fully see through it. We only bring our love to it, not go head on against it. We have to cover it, hover it with love, with so much love, and the power of love put into practice, put in as a living vibration, so that whatever agenda that this dark has attached itself to it can also expand. For those of us who have joined our Tuesday night meditation every week, again, tomorrow night, we'll be having the 15 week. When we go in it, we feel ourselves in our diamond light body, right? We're then able to bring our highest love to all humanity. This love sees no difference. Even the ones that have done all this harm towards humanity, the crimes against humanity, we know from our highest self, our Christed self, our crystalline self, we have the power to bring the highest level of love so that their dark can also transmute back into light, so that together we live in a living vibration, keys and codes of the crystalline love. Love is not flaky here. Love is a power stream where it is connected in our divine truth. It streams through us, and we're able to bring forth what is humanly in the human consciousness not possible, but in the spiritual body absolutely possible. So I'm bringing this up because just as a vehicle of how grateful I have been, and wondering if you have been grateful. Are you fighting? Is your adrenaline running? Are you flight or fight response or freeze response? Or are you in celebration and joy? It's just a self-evaluation. And if you, as a bringer of light or light worker, have not been yet able to gift yourself the opportunity to move into joy and celebration and see that this corona or COVID is only be a gift for you. Well, here's an opportunity. On Wednesday, we move into the 4-4 massive Stargate. Michael and I are taking part in this 24-hour celebration of the Earth Day. For us, it's the Gaia Day. Gaia is already Gaia because Earth has already moved into a crystalline diamond corridor, and she's vibrating in this frequency. And if we are wanting to experience the higher dimensional reality, we're going to connect with her crystalline core, in her diamond core, the diamond frequency. And from there, bring this vibration. So we cannot hate the Democrats. We cannot hate the Republicans. We cannot hate the Bill Gates. We cannot hate Lady Gaga. We cannot hate like the pedophilia. We cannot hate the Q. We cannot, like, all of these that's all over the place. We cannot, because if you're coming from that vibration, we're in separation of our divine truth. And yet, if we are coming from this place, we're able to see it all, be unattached to all, and bring our highest presence into this place. We're able to see clearly. Okay, we're able to see that somehow, whether it's just Sarah and Nasara, they're working its way. We're able to see Saint Germain is behind the scenes somehow. We're able to see Archangel Michael and the legions of light are doing their magnificent clearing of the dark through us. We're able to see as we unite in the field of light, we keep our vibration at the highest by service to our highest self. We are in service to the highest humanity because there is no separation. And I really want to bring a lot of us light bringers. If you're still operating from complete, like, hating the NRA, hating this, hating that, you're in disservice to you. There's so much light that is on the planet right now. There's so much more joy taking place that all this debris we're seeing is part of the dismantling of the old systems that had been set up, part of the human slavery, the human consciousness first, being bought into a program and conditioning that has never been part of the highest vibration of love for the individuals and humanity and for Earth. So all is finally surfaced so that we can clearly see. But what we are seeing is what we're seeing within ourselves. We're seeing how we have had to also be bought into this program of schooling system, working 9 to 5, and what have you, working just as a to survive, just to pay the bills, complete in disharmony of being able to live from a spiritual being, because we've been functioning from just the survival model, never being able to rise up in our divinity. All of this has had to dismantle under this umbrella of so-called COVID. It's not about the virus of the physical, though that does happen. It's the virus of the spiritual, the higher consciousness that has not been part of the divine alignment of our divine truth, our divine beingness. So finally, this oneness, we know from Source Light, we're all one. It's one love, one heart. But how can we truly live this one heart, one love, when we are still going through these layers and their layers of separation of our divine truth? So we're still seeing Bill Gates separate from us. We're still seeing Donald Trump separate from us. We're still seeing Hillary Clinton separate from us. We're still seeing Elon, whatever his last name, separate from us. We're still seeing China separate from us. We're still seeing, the natives, indigenous culture separate from us. So as long as this is happening, we're not moving into the oneness frequency. So all is surface so that we can face these prejudice, these things that are playing on the outside within ourselves, to breathe in and bring the love into it, to take ownership and responsibility as a divine sovereign being in our alignment of our Christed self, right? In the masculine and the feminine vibration as one, so that under Corona gift and the COVID-19 gift, and seeing it so clearly, receiving the gifts first that is brought up, because these gifts have been the concerns, the worries, the fears, the what will happen, so that we can bring our love into it, and then take it next level, bring the love into the institutions, bring it love to the religions, bring it love to the politics, bring all the love, so that this inner divine government is also transmuting, transcending, so that we can start being the instruments of this divine government of the golden age that we are bringing through as a divine alignment frequency together with everybody else that is part of this. So we have to watch it dismantle, but dismantle with love, dismantle with grace, dismantle from being disattached, unattached, attached from our attachments to the political system, to the institutional systems, to all these other systems, so we can start with a clean slate, and that's within ourselves. So gratitude and forgiveness has been a huge part to be crowned by the golden jewels that the ascended masters are granting each of us. And each time we're able to equally, let's say, here's a trigger one for many. If you can love, let's say, Trump and Hillary together the same, wow, you're going to be crowned. If you can, love, let's say, all these other ones that have been part of the crimes against humanity, from the pedophilia rings to all these celebrities to the Pope, to many of them, still choose to love them at a soul level. You're going to be crowned on this La Corona, this COVID, because that's the gift you're giving to you, and you're giving that back into humanity. Not a job for everyone, but a job for those of us who chose to come in as a bringer of light and bring in all the keys and the codes of light through this ingratitude, unattached, and fully being able to see through the spiritual eye, which is the spiritual heart that sees clearly, sees the crimes, and has transcended it all, and now is here to hold the highest vibration of light through its love in action, not just a talking form, but living it in their daily practice. And that's why I felt guided to just open this up and share this video. And I'm very grateful to so many of you for being on here. And not an easy task, but we sure agreed to come in, right? To be the true bringers of light. We've incarnated into this plane, into this now, to be of the greatest service. But how can we serve, really, when we're operating from fear and worry and concern? Because we don't trust the divine plan. Because we have been reduced to the human construct and the human conditioning and program that is media bought. And through science, this social media is an incredible opportunity for us to blast our light, because it's just an energy, and how we're choosing our energy through our sovereign beingness or through our fear tactics. So, hello, she and me. So much love to you all. Let me see what you have. Hello, Gary, my sacred brother from London. Good evening to you. Your Galactic sister says hello. Florian, nice to see you. Camora, nice to see you. Hello, Danielle. Thank you. Sharonda, I don't know you. Welcome. Violera, thank you, my divine sister. Yes, we have to love all, good and bad, light and dark. Everything lives within God. Yes, it is all God. It is just a matter of perspective. Let's have the perspective of love and all. Yes, for those who feel called. Hello, Ray. Hope you're feeling so much better. So much love, and thank you for being here. And yes, Lady Gaga and her monsters. Yeah, blast them with that for sure. I have something interesting to share about this also. So last night I was watching the Netflix Limit, and this is season 1, episode 11. It was very interesting. There was this one scene that the main character, I forget his name, Brian, he was talking about it was just about attacking and also tweeting. And he said, and he was saying, how interesting tweet. This is in 2011, this was filmed. He said, what does Bill Gates, Lady Gaga, Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah, and another one have in common? And my eyes went like this, because it was so interesting. This was mentioned in 2011, and this particular episode, there's one part that they're preparing for if there is a virus with FBI, what they're going to do, how to handle it. And I was like, wow, here we go. Here's another one. Here's another one that has been leaking this material out. So nothing new, right? And then they're talking about these other things behind the scene. And they also mentioned somewhere in here couple of other things, and one has to do with Q. I said, look at this. This is back like 9 years ago. They've been leaking this information. We've been behind the scene as the dark force does its job, the light force is doing its job. It's being shown and revealed so that we can choose from our divine sovereign state of beingness. And the divine sovereignty can only choose if it is aligned with its divine, if it's aligned with its I am presence in its divine truth. When it is just connected to its human construct, and its human construct is connected in its mental consciousness to many programs and conditioning by its attachment, it cannot see. It doesn't have the capacity to see the fullness. Only when it starts unplugging and withdrawing the energy back to itself, it can step back and start to be able to see the much bigger picture, way grander image. And then it can call in its higher counterparts from its multidimensional self, from its multidimensional angelic self, galactic self, ascended master self, into this force field, and allow that vibration to vibrate outward, to then start dismantling the programs and the conditioning through this incarnation and other incarnations. That's part of, and also multiverse and universes. So that's a whole nother topic. Point being, gratitude is a huge indicator where you are in your ascension journey in this early phase of 2020. That's a huge part of your setting the vibration in your crown jewel, crowned by the corona, by El Corona. And you can only experience that if you've been able to not be in fear, not be in worry, not be bought into the governing field of the governments and those laws or the mandates they're putting out. So, and if you have, no problem, you also have the opportunity to come into your divine sovereign essence and be able to use discernment. What is in the divine plan, in the divine truth, in the divine oneness, so that you can bring that part of you forward. There's no loss in here. It's only an inner communication that communicates where you are on your personal and planetary ascension. And a couple of pieces, like for me, vaccines are a big one. It's been years I've learned about vaccines, and I've had to really face years of standing up, fighting the systems. I mean, there's so much behind this. And also years of 20 years ago when I first learned about the pedophilia rings and all that, very sensitive towards this area. And also going from so much anger and hate to being here, to being able to see it, to be not caught in it, to be able to bring my love to it, and the power of my divine love to watch it dismantle, and then at a much higher galactic level, be able to have in my meditations go through massive forgiveness of these individuals that have taken part in these, say, crimes against humanity, being able to bring the true forgiveness of the Christ love into it and give them the opportunity to also clear their vibration so they too can transmute back into light. That's not for everybody, but for those of us that are called to it, that's our job. That is, we're not part of, being behind, hating the Bill Gates, hating Lady Gaga and all of them. No, we're here to hold the highest vibration of love also for these souls, because they too are here to be transmuted back into the light. And it is us light workers, us star seeds, us gatekeepers, us earth keepers, us earth angels that have the power, and we've been blessed by the grace of divine to bring it through us. First go through it ourselves and then take this role as a collective energy. So I look forward to many of you joining us tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. on our YouTube channel on Ascension Alchemist. When we gather, it's the 15th week. We prepare our body with this golden frequency of light and really feed ourselves first and then direct the frequency towards Gaia. Last week, Michael and I were focused to shift the current of the 5G to Christ light instead. Tomorrow night will be focused differently. I'm focused on the vaccines tomorrow night. It's going to be amazing, bringing a lot of love to this. All of you are welcome to join. Wednesday, we will be live this 24 hours, anchoring these codes and keys of light on the live event for Earth Day under this major Stargate. That's a gift given to us. On Friday, we'll be live on Friday Tea Time Ascension Talk. We're going to go over these frequencies together. You can join, and that's also free. That's on our Ascension Alchemist YouTube page. And on Saturday, for those of you that want to really come into a golden frequency, Michael has an online class. It's called Anchoring the Golden Light. This is part of the Golden Age. The golden is our connection to the solar sun, the galactic sun, the central sun, and the source light, so that we can be a living stream through our 50 trillion cells as this golden beaming sun. And that's the only way we can bring this love. It cannot be just thought on a thought plane. It has to be brought in and embodied. So much love to all of you. Thank you for joining me today. I trust that you will allow yourself to move into gratitude for Corona, gratitude for COVID-19, gratitude for everything that it's brought into our timeline right now, because the timelines are merging and reshifting. And there's the new humanity stepping forward, the new awakening for the collective unconscious that has been waking up. And we're here as the elders for them, because for years we have gone through the awakening so that we can stay here. And also to be able to allow this early part before the summer solstice, allow this massive purging on the planet take place, that we each have been also part of, purging out what is not part of our divine plan, what is these worries, concerns, anxieties, and our attachments, to be brought in, to be transmuted by the violet flame, so that it no longer has any hold over us, so we can be a true divine sovereign being. And it's not for us to live from our shadows, it is for us to live from our light. To live from our light means to be anchored and living vibration, and living it, that means walking it, that means it is an action. So I appreciate all of you, and I look forward to reading your comments. And this is also an answer to somebody who had asked me, how can I be grateful for Corona? I was like, wow, there is so much to be grateful for. I couldn't be grateful for this La Corona being crowned with so many of you. So grateful, so grateful, so grateful. And I'll continue not wear gloves, not wear masks. How can I, as I embrace this being part of the divine plan, as the Galactic Federation of Light said, there has never been anything else part of, other than being this part of the divine plan, which I trust. Have a wonderful day, all of you. Thank you so much for being here. May you continue to journey forth with gratitude. Gratitude for all that comes up, all that needs to be transmuted through you, to know you're part of all. We're all together. And if you're doing it within ourselves, we're able to do it for the collective. And that's how we can help the others if you're further along. So much love, so much gratitude. Thank you for being you. Aho, everyone. It's not closing. It's interesting. So it's not closing. Let me see if I can shut it off from here. There. I'm still trying to close this window. Look, it looks like it's still continuing forth. How about that? Here we go. I love this. Look at this. So I have the rainbow circling around. Oh, it's beautiful. I don't know if it will let me close it here. Yeah, it's still, there you go. See if I can shut it off from here. So I can shut it on my YouTube. Thank